My overthinking has been very bad lately. I feel like people are mad at me, or they don't like me. Especially if I said something and I don't get the response I want. I automatically think that I said something wrong and that I was stupid for saying that. Does anyone relate to me? Let's encounter this thinking with arguments from thinkers, psychologists, and philosophers across centuries and cultures about the trap of seeking approval and the overthinking that comes with it. Epictetus was a Greek philosopher. He said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by their opinions about things." The replay loop after a conversation is not caused by what happened. It's caused by your interpretation of it. Other people's opinions are not in your control, so treating them as the measure of your worth is a philosophical error. Marcus Aurelius was a Roman emperor and a philosopher. He said, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." He saw approval-seeking as a form of self-betrayal. You abandon your own judgment to chase the judgment of people you wouldn't even ask for advice. Viktor Frankl, a psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor, observed that those who survived the camps were often those who had an inner life that external circumstances could not touch. He called it the last human freedom, the freedom to choose your response to any situation. The approval of others cannot give you meaning, and their disapproval cannot take it away. Meaning is interior. Muhammad said, "Beware of suspicion. Suspicion is the worst of false tales." We normally apply this outward. Don't assume the worst about others. But what happens when suspicion turns inward? When you assume the worst about yourself? I said something stupid. They think less of me. I am too much, too awkward, too loud, too quiet, too stupid. These are suspicions, not facts, and the wisdom applies here with equal force. Do not prosecute yourself without evidence. A delayed reply is not a verdict. A blank expression is not a judgment. Silence is not contempt. You are interpreting noise as signal, and then suffering from the interpretation as if it were real. What is the common thread across all of these thinkers? Every single one of them arrived at the same diagnosis. You have outsourced your sense of self to an unreliable narrator. The cure is always some version of the same thing. Move the anchor inward. The path to being accepted by people is to stop making their acceptance the goal. When you are internally anchored, when your worth is not up for renegotiation every time someone goes quiet, you carry yourself differently. You speak differently. And paradoxically, people feel more at ease around you, because desperation for approval is detectable. So, how to move the anchor inward and be indifferent to what people feel about you. Tell yourself, so what? When you find yourself in the same feeling, tell yourself, in the vastness of this galaxy, among billions of people, if a person or a few people do not like me. So what? And allow yourself to stay in that discomfort until you feel the grip breaking slowly from you. Another important point to remember is that observe, don't absorb. When you get hit by the feeling or receive dislike, observe it as just a piece of data or an observation, rather than a defining truth about yourself and your worth. These above 2 points will help you move the anchor inward and loosen the grip of feeling from you over time, but slowly, not instantly and at once. Now, the last and most important part. Feeling like people hate you can stem from hating yourself. When you struggle with self-hatred and view yourself as unworthy, You may project these internal feelings onto others, assuming that they do not like you, the way you see yourself. Shams of Tabriz, teacher of Rumi, suggests that self-love is not egoism, but rather a necessity. You cannot expect people to like you unless you like yourself. To do that, have a glance at yourself with love, just once. This will break the pattern of hate you are stuck in. When you hate yourself, that feeling is too painful to hold, so your mind projects it outward. You think, I don't hate myself. People hate me. This makes you a victim of the world, rather than the architect of your own pain. By looking at yourself with love, just once, you change the feeling. In that moment of self-warmth, the need to find hate from others evaporates, because the source, the internal hate, has been neutralized. Hope this explains how having a glance at yourself with love can resolve this issue. Here are a few examples to explain shifting the anchor inward. The approval trap. I have value because they needed me. The internal anchor. I have value even if nobody needs me. The approval trap. I exist when they see me. The internal anchor. I exist whether they see me or not. Among all the arguments we discussed, if there is an argument that helped you tackle this issue, please share in the comments.